hand on a seat, a hand on a friendly shoulder, or a hand on a tabletop. If you do not use 3 points of contact, the train will give you a 3rd point of contact, and it won't be one of your choosing. The bathrooms. They were back at your hotels. I hope you used them. That's not entirely true. We do have bathrooms on board this car. They're at the rear of the car here. They're a little bit interesting. Ladies, for the most part, you are not going to have any problems. Gentlemen, you are going to want to know what you are doing before you go to do it. If you go in our bathroom forward, you are coming out backwards. If you go in there backwards, you're coming out forwards. We will know who didn't pay attention to this because we will see a man at some point in this trip come out of that bathroom, do a U-turn, and go right back. One last thing on those bathrooms. Please make sure you lock the door, or I can pretty much guarantee someone will see a bear on this trip. You laugh, it happens all the time. In the case of an emergency, if we have to use them, we have some emergency exits up here in the dome. They are marked with the red handles. They're at the front of the car here on both sides, and at the rear of the car back there on both sides. Really quickly, I would like to get a round of applause for the people sitting right at those tables. Here's why. Those windows weigh a little bit over 200 pounds and they fall inwards. So if we have to use them, they're going to crush all you folks sitting at these tables. Thank you very much. Now if I could have a round of applause for the people who will be the first ones out. It's all the folks right next to those tables. When they jump 18 feet to safety and break a leg or a rib or whatever they break and break everyone else's falls. So thank you very much as well. If you'd like to go down our stairs to go to the bathroom or the open-air platforms, please use the handrails. Also, those open-air platforms, that's where we allow any smoking on our trip today. If you'd like to smoke, go on out there. We have ashtrays available for you, so please do keep your butts on the train, as well as your arms, your legs, and everything like that. You don't want to get hit by a tree going 35 to 50 miles an hour. It tends to hurt. And that's pretty much all the safety information. So we're going to talk about some breakfast and beverage stuff. Breakfast this morning is going to start up at this end of the car right here. We will bring down the first 32 people, and then we'll be rotating through as tables become available. Since that starts up there, Dave, everybody say hi, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Your bartender, your chemical engineer, one of the most important people on the train today, will be starting his beverage service in the rear end of the car. All you folks that are in the middle of all of that, you're in the middle of all that. We'll get to you as we can. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I think Dave wants to take over the microphone for a second.
I just like to talk on it. Makes me feel important. Like Joe said, I'm going to start down there. Please be patient with me because we do have a full car today, and so it's going to take me some time to get all the way down. I'm going to do 2 or 3 tables, come mix, go back. That's how the rotation's going to be today. Like Joe said, I'm Dave, your bartender today. I'm from Utah. I'm a Leo. I like long walks on the beach. You know, and anything that has a pretty face. So we're gonna, again, remember this. Remember, somewhere in the world, it is cocktail hour. So don't forget that. Thank you.
Don't tell Ralph.
I almost forgot. I had one last thing I needed to talk about with our breakfast and whatnot. Like I said, we have like 32 seats down in the dining room. We have 87 in the dome, so y'all can do the math. I'm going to give all you folks in the front end one piece of advice before we get started. We want you to go downstairs, enjoy your breakfast, have a great time. Enjoy it. When you are through, come on back upstairs, have your after-meal coffee and conversation up here. Here's why. Tomorrow when you get on the train, all your meal service is going to start at that end of the car down there. And they will remember if they had to wait a really long time for breakfast this morning. So, other than that, I guess I'm done for like 4 hours.
Good morning, everybody. Now it's my turn. I'll make this short and sweet. My name is Jennifer. I'll be your tour sales rep on the train today. On your table, you'll find some information in the green book. It's in the red section. As well as the order forms, we just ask your help with those to choose a time if there's a choice of more than one. And the bottom portion with your name and credit card information. Just keep in mind if you choose to do more than one activity, I'll just need one form for each activity as long as you're on the same credit card. So one other thing, I highly suggest if you know what you'd like to do before you go to breakfast, sign up for it now. There's lots of people on the train today. There's only one of me, so if you don't see me for a while, I will be back to answer any questions at each and every table. Thank you.
So far I've shot an hour and 14 minutes.
Bob, did you get out one this morning?
Sure did. Every time I go to shoot, I come into a grove of trees like this.
How many
That'll be good as a train.
It's almost 3.8. That's pretty good. Well, my knees and stuff starting to bother us. I'm going to start cutting it back over next year because I'm going to walk and run. I figured in a couple of years I'll just be walking.
That's what I do. I do more walking.
Oh, it's better. Yeah, I'm going to start cutting it back. I'm going to have to.
What
I got
time?
where I was running, and I'd take off running. And I'd run a mile like
Have most of you seen these telephone posts out here with no wire? That's part of AT&T wireless service out here in Alaska. Good, you're thinking this morning. They're old telegraph posts that they used to use during World War II between Anchorage and Fairbanks. After the war, they didn't need them anymore. They used them for telephone posts until they finally put the highways in the 1970s. They hired a man to come out and clean it all up. He took the thin strands of copper wire off, realized he had a fortune, and left town without finishing the job. The railroad is owned by the state of Alaska. They do not have time to come out and get them because they only have 4 months out of the year to work on this track before the snow flies again. So they don't have time. So they wait till they fall over. When they get time, they pick them up. And I don't know if you know it or not, but those insulators on top are worth money in the lower 48s. At a garage sale, you can get anywhere from $5 to $50 a piece for them. So anytime we stop, you're welcome to go pick up as many as you want. Just remember, they're owned by the state of Alaska, and it is a felony, okay?
To it. In 1923, when President Harding came to the state of Alaska to drive the Golden Spike and complete the Alaska Railroad, he actually came here to the town of Nenana to do that. He came in July, and being from Ohio, President Harding did not know what the weather was going to be like up here, so he asked some of his advisors what it was going to be like. The problem was his advisors were from Ohio as well, so they didn't really know what was going to be going on. They told him, Alaska's a cold state, you should dress for cold weather. He came up here wearing a wool suit and long underwear. He was completely ready. The problem was, on that July day, it was about 85 degrees here in the town of Nenana. He rode on a single rail car, had no air conditioning and no running water. In fact, the only beverages they had available for him were whiskey and champagne. President Harding, however, was willing to make the sacrifice to stay hydrated on the trip up, so he drank up. By the time he got here to Nenana to drive the Golden Spike, he was completely thrashed. It actually took him 6 swings to make contact with the Golden Spike. After he drove the Spike, they pulled it out of the ground right away. It used to be the practice of the railroad to leave them in the ground overnight because they felt it was good luck for the rail. But when they drove the Spike down in Utah and left it down in the ground overnight, that Spike got stolen. So they took it out right away. It's now in his museum in Ohio. Coming up in a little bit, we are going to be going over a bridge. When we go over that bridge, you're going to be looking off the 3 o'clock side, right on the ground, right before we get to the bridge. There will be 3 metal poles sticking out of the ground. There used to be a sign on the front of it. Basically, it said, this is where President Harding drove the Golden Spike. That sign has been stolen. It's not there. They have not taken the time to replace it. So there are 3 metal poles marking that historic spot. We'll come up on that in just a little bit here.
3 metal poles.
What do you say the name is, Tom?
Mama something.
Something diamond.
Every time I get ready to shoot, I get a trees.
Yeah.
Alright, here it comes. Are you ready? 3 metal poles on the 3 o'clock side. That's very exciting stuff.
Hey, here's one of them wheels. One of them salmon wheels.
Right now. This is the Nenana River. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this as we kind of come around and see it again. But we'll be coming around. There's going to be some trees for a second, so I'm not going to talk about the trees.
No. Jet ski, isn't it?
It's awesome.
We've got a million passengers that won't buy. That's something else.
Where we are.
Docks for the winter time. 2 years ago, there was no salmon rush.
Here, the pot was a $300,000 pot that was split between 4 people. So you can kind of do the math. It takes about 150,000 people to make that much money. It's a huge, huge event up here. They actually have online betting for this. You can bet online. It's great. Here's the tripod right here. This is the tripod. They set it up on that bridge out there with a pulley system, and when it moves far enough to trip the wire, that's when the ice breaks. There's the watchtower. That's how serious the event has gotten. We actually had 2 people from Minnesota win last year. You don't have to be from up here. Like I said, they have that online betting. The website, NenanaIceClassic.com, I think. I don't know. You know what, though? We don't need to worry about it, because if you're really interested, you don't have to go to the trouble of going online or anything like that. You give your money to Dave or myself, we'll put it in for you. Hey, everybody, look, a manimoo right there on the ground.
A manimoo. Manimoo.
I don't know if living in this town has done that to him or what, but it's crazy. So yeah, that Nenana Ice Classic is a pretty cool deal, and that's Nenana.
How long do you think it would take to drink?
What, there's 1 or 2 cars behind?
There's mountains. We're getting into the mountains up there.
Yeah. Yeah, I see them now.
Well, I think they're passing. They just started to go.
I missed him.
He's not waving!
That, I saw him before everybody. I saw him before everybody. I couldn't get my camera on.
Here we go. You can start to see it now. There's the Chamber of Commerce. There's the library, the courthouse. This little green building is the pub. And now here comes the Chevy dealership. They're hiding. They're nocturnal. That's good. Alright, now Town of Prairie has its fun story to it. This is going to be a good one, so we're going to talk about it. It's really good. You'll like this one. Town of Prairie, several years back.
Your symbol's gone.
Yeah. You shot back that way anyway. Yeah. I don't know what it was. So I put it in. I mean, look, if you look at that thing, it's no way. Only way to go in.
I think I might as well.
Oh, really?
What did Mom say? Somebody said,
That looks like where the Sundance kid and them did jump off, didn't it?
Oh, we're going through the mountain. There's your tunnel up there.
Yeah, now I'm gonna get a good shot there.
Did you want to get over here? Where
I get it.
Great to get a shot at. We had a landslide here too. Oh, you can see where it is.
I warned you. Oh, here we come.
Okay, everybody watch Dominic now.
Where are they? All of them, they're probably horizontal.
That water moving there.
Up through there.
Keep looking for fly fishing down there like everywhere else. It was fun, yeah.
For the day. And we enjoyed it. We went on some of the trails that were kind of.
Yeah, we did a little hiking when we were up there too.
You want to play again? Go ahead, you probably will be. And if you really are afraid I'm throwing the gift shop,
No, it was 355 I saw. 358. Well, are you 358? Here's the truck right here.
biggest mistake you ever made.
Last year, a boat fell off.
Thought it had a Texas tag on the front of it.
That's a long, that's a good drag he's got up through there. We're gonna cross the bridge too.
That's great.
Do we know what time we've got that thing set to?
Our leader probably knows. I don't know where our leader is, but.
I think she went with the group.
Well, we're due to arrive at 12.
And then when is the school bus ride?
Nancy?
Yes.
When is the ride into the park? Is that
I don't know.
She only feels sorry yapping questions.
Larry, you ain't shooting?
No, I got some already.
I finally used up a roll. I had to go to the second one, yeah.
Just make it clean it up by now, wouldn't it? It keeps grinding. Yeah. Another couple million years, probably won't be any mountain left. If a global warming don't just get the glacier first. Yeah. I was reading somewhere on preparation for this trip. In some of these areas where the cities or homes are built on the
Yeah, I read
some of
that.
that permafrost, and they're having to make some arrangements because it's melting
because of the glacier?
because of
I mean, global warming, yeah.
A late dinner, 6:30, 7 o'clock in that area probably. So you may want lunch on board.
Whitewater looks good.
And what they have is
I don't know how you could really call that whitewater.
Well, it looks like kind of
Mucky water.
It looks like
It's like gray paint. Wildflowers we have these rocks.
This is pretty. Like it was real hot. This is right away. Yeah.
It's kind of like going up Pikes Peak. If Pat, you can go stand away from this side, aren't you?
Y'all ride the train up to Pike Creek?
He
No, we
drove
drove
the Suburban.
I've drove it. I've driven up there too. That's some road, ain't
I'll
it?
tell you what, we were coming up, it wasn't bad. Coming down, there on that side,
Yes.
man, it was in my lap. Driving.
We drove a rental car. What did we have?
Legs when they get there.
Ah, that water don't look deep.
Just long way.
It's just getting to
They got
it.
railroad ties back down there on some of these places stacked to it. You roll down there.
Yeah. It's pretty smooth
What bothers me is that rock don't look real stable. Huh?
Good.
Ooh, Martha.
Yes.
Look at the wildflower.
That was a negative right there.
That thing's leaning to the left. There's too many people over there by the window.
You want us to get up?
I'm just kidding.
No, that's okay.
I want to go.
I want somebody else to.
Here, look. I got the
Railroad ties.
Comes another time. Really?
You got in just in time, Bob.
All right, everybody look off the 9 o'clock side. You're going to see an example of some local graffiti right there on that bridge.
Oh!
And how do you
How
get
do they
this?
do that, Joe? Well, the way they do that is they will go down, they will rappel down the side of that, tie up to that access ladder, and actually... Oh, there's some maintenance guys on there. That's a crazy job to have. All right, I just got handed something by our assistant onboard manager, Darren. This is some information. Very fun stuff. So I'm going to give you this information in a moment. I'm going to do a couple of things, actually. Tomorrow, when you all get on the train, we are going to have a lunch and a dinner for you. The way that's going to work is we start down at this end of the car. We bring down the first 8 tables for both meals. So when you come on the train tomorrow, this is mostly for you folks in the back end. When you get on, just so you know, our dinner is going to start at 4 o'clock. So when you get on, right around noon, we will have a lunch available for you. If you choose to go down for both meals on that leg of your trip, I suggest you have a light lunch tomorrow. Because you won't want to come back down a couple hours later and eat a huge dinner after you've had a huge lunch. So it's just kind of a heads up for you. Some of the dinner items we offer, since we're going to be having a big dinner tomorrow when you all get on, we offer a prime rib plate, which is very good. It's slowly cooked throughout the day on the train. They've actually probably thrown them in at this point. We have a red salmon plate, which is really good. We have a pork roast that is cooked and served in pork chops. We also have a chicken breast with a cranberry glaze. And we have a vegetarian plate with bok choy and several other mixed vegetables. All of those come with your choice of the garlic mashed potatoes or rice, and then the daily vegetables. And then for lunch, we have several sandwiches, stuff like that. We have a French dip sandwich, we have a turkey sandwich, chili, very, very good reindeer chili, actually. So those are kind of the meals.
This is trash.
Well, I say trash.
I'll do it both, easy. You want to say this?
Here we are at the Mennonite camp in Alaska. That just doesn't look like a real job right there.
She's giving you new ones. Would you like those ones?
I think it's somewhere. It's near something that we don't know about.
Now they must be, because that's some nice.
Well, it's near Denali. Is anybody swimming or anything, Kenneth? What's the attraction here?
They just near Denali, all I.
We're trying to figure it out.
That must be the restaurant over there, right?
Yeah. Must be a heck of a bar there.
Or maybe it's a restaurant.
Deja
That's gotta be a
vu?
go-go.
Deja vu?
That's got to be a go-go.
Oh, that's one like in North, that's probably one of those house of prostitutes.
You cannot make somebody be happy that doesn't want to be happy. You can just try your best to serve them and have a good time. So I appreciate it when y'all get on board and want to have a good time and want to be happy. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed your trip with us today, and I hope the rest of your vacation in Alaska is outstanding.
Thank you.
James. Supposed to be a few. Are we? I don't know.
He's a princess. I mean, that's supposed to be all covered in it.
We're staying on a red roof here.
You didn't know. This is their worst class trip.
James, y'all were a little rowdy last night in your room. I want you to keep it quiet today.
You know, I lost a pair of socks last night trying to keep the muffle hurt.
He really didn't mean that on that tape, y'all, when they said that. When I show this tape, he really didn't mean to say that, folks. He's just kidding. Gayle's ready to shop, and we are at Denali Lodge. Bruce and Gayle are staying up there, and we're staying up there. They're not waiting on me. Pretty view. Little airish here. Flowers are pretty, but it is a little windy. Put on our jackets and our sweaters. Bruce is examining the flowers again.
Are you coming, Samuel Goldwyn?
Yes, sir. Shooting all the way. This is Denali Lodge. It's 6 million acres, like that, in this park, in this national park, and around. That's the Summit restaurant where we ate. And I think this is Denali Mountains here we're looking at. River. Real murky water because it's a glacier. All the water is real murky. Limestone, like gray color. On this spot, as you come around, just to the left of this little tree right here, this mountain. Tree there. It's Mount Burkina. Tallest mountain. Tallest mountain in North America. See it off in the distance. More mountains down that way. Nancy and I are staying, and Bruce and Gayle, and this one right here on the left.
You want to find a pond that has at least 3 feet of water. Because 3 feet of water will allow them to make sure they have enough places to put all their food, to store all their food. And then also make sure that they're protected from predators out here like the bear and the wolf. And what happens though is when you're wandering out here trying to find a place to live, they don't always find a pond with 3 feet of water, which doesn't bother them because they can just build their own pond. And this pond down here was built by beavers. You can see the beaver dam, which is over on the left edge of the pond. They build great ponds, they build great dams, they build lodges to build in. And the beaver lodge on the opposite edge of the pond is that mound. That's where they live. And everything beavers build are so well built, kind of like maybe concrete or steel buildings that we can build. And to give you an example on this, it was I think just about 4 years ago now, I had a friend that was sitting right behind us near that garbage can. And he was seeing something pretty unusual because he saw a grizzly bear standing on top of that lodge. And the bear was jumping on it and pouncing on it and clawing on it, trying to break in to get a beaver out to get something to eat. And this bear was at it for over 2 hours, clawing at the lodge, trying to break in. And after all, I can't see if any of it's sticking out. I can't tell. So we'll keep in mind when we make our way up, we can see it a little bit longer, and then it'll go away. We'll get a little too low, and then we'll be able to see it again once we get up to our turnaround point. So we'll keep our look over there and see if the clouds lift or not. And if they don't, though, I have.
You all have some fancy gear around your neck. Some nice clothes. We're gonna have to find out where you shop. 5 times.
Here, JD. You got room for more? You got room for more?
Oh yeah, come on up here, folks. You can come closer. The closer you get to me, the less mosquitoes. I'll go shoulder to shoulder with you. Thanks for making the hike back here in this heat. Who brought this along again? The Utah people?
Tennessee.
Tennessee too? Warm everywhere. Oh my goodness. Well, welcome to Savage Cabin. Let me introduce myself. My name's Jan Bennett. My friends call me JB. And I'm in Alaska for the second time. Both times I come out here from the Philadelphia area. And the first time I was out here was 1924. My dad was hired by Harry Karstens, who was the park's first superintendent out here. I was just 9 years old then. My dad was a carpenter. My dad was a carpenter, so Harry hired him to build the roadside cabins. Now, Savage Cabin is the first of 6 roadside cabins built, and they were built as cookhouses for the road crew. When they were putting this road in out here, that connects the rail to Camp-Tishna 90 miles out. So this was the cookhouse. It's made of spruce log. You look around these tall trees around here, these are spruce trees. It's abundant in these parts, and that's why Dad used it. Now, on this cabin, the logs are flat on 3 sides, top, bottom, so they stack real nice, and flat on the inside wall. I don't know if you've lived in a cabin before, but it gets very breezy between those logs, so you'll chink anything you can in there. This cabin has oakum, which is what they make rope out of. There's also burlap or hemp. There's moss in there. It gets very breezy, and the red squirrels around here like to steal that stuff. So some cabins, you'll see socks and shirts wedged in between those logs. It gets so cold. Now, originally when Dad built this cabin, it was down on Savage River, and if you can imagine, it was 2 cabins facing one another, with a roof overhang connecting them, and an 8-foot dog trot right in the center. And that was so we could unload the cooking goods right into 2 porches. Now, being from Philadelphia, Dad didn't know a thing about mushing dogs. Do you mush dogs where you're from? Tennessee, Utah? No, we didn't know. You can sympathize with us then. Harry Karstens was nice enough to tell my dad, mush is how you start the team. So I'd come out here when I'd hear those dogs barking down there and hear Dad yelling, mush, mush. Till he came to the post here, he'd be yelling mush. Then he'd yell stop, and he'd be hanging on for dear life because the dogs didn't slow down a bit. Stop isn't the word to stop a dog team. Do you have any ideas what word might work?
Demush.
I haven't heard that one before. I'll mouth it for you.
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa is a very important word to know up here. It's how you stop the team of dogs. You're dragging a big sled like this backwards, full of food. It's very hard work. Take my word for it. So we learned that word real quick. Now, my job up here, age 9, was to help my mom cook, and I didn't like it one bit, and I don't like it to this day, and that's why I don't have a bite for you folks to eat. I'm so sorry about that, but I don't like it one bit. I tried everything to get out of cooking. Now, they had dog kennels down there for the dogs. There's a few dog kennels up here. Age 9, I could hide out in there. But if you own a dog, you know they rat you out. So that just worked a couple times. And these mosquitoes up here, my gracious, I figured there has to be some good purpose for these mosquitoes. So I'd let them bite me, scratch them till they bled, and then I'd be all queasy with beaver fever.
Different kind of folks.
Yeah.
Come up here and live. Love it.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Sure are.
Honey?
Like a well.
The dog houses, I guess.
Yeah.
Looks like. But they eat them dogs when it get bad in the winter sometime. Huh? That feels spongy, don't it?
Then it's spongy, fill of it.
Very spongy.
This be good to go, Bruce.
Denali. In this river, we only have small little grayling in it. And the reason for that is because that most of our rivers here are fed by glaciers. So they're not clear, they're very silty and dirty. And it's very hard for fish to grow in them, especially with the water being so cold and it being so silty. So it actually means if you want to come up here and fish in the park, you don't need a license, you can just come up here and fish. Because you're probably not going to catch very much. You need to go at least 50 miles south and north up here to get to some good rivers that have salmon runs, things like that.
Beautiful out there.
They will run up near Fairbanks, which is north of here. They don't come through the park though because we don't have any good rivers for them to run in. I like to fish, but I'm not the biggest fisherman. But I think the best place to go is about 100 miles south of here. Is a place called Denali State Park. And that's where most of the good fishing is.
2 feet. Look how big he is.
All right. Is this a good spot for people in the back?
Somebody said, what'd you make this place?
All right.
We saw there's a moose.
We're going to have a red arrow pointing up.
It's at about 10 o'clock. It's not in this main river. It's in this one that goes between the far one to the right and the one to the left. It's standing right in it. You can just see its brown backside and its white rear end.
I don't know, but that was a good eye.
It's actually giving us a famous view we get up here, which is called the Denali view.
Did Bruce find it?
Where animals show us their backsides all the time.
Bruce found the
Let's
moose.
see if he lifts his head up so we can get it.
That's the Indian. That's the Indian name. Cochise got the moose.
That and bourbon he can spot.
That and wampum water.
Can you see him without him?
He hasn't even bothered to look at us.
And he's feeding on that dwarf birch that I pointed out earlier. That's what's terrible. Like
Never been mooned by a moose before.
It's always the first time. Did you see the violence?
Bob Parker can. Sorry about it, Ranger. No attention to you.
really not. If it moved, it'd be a little bit easier for us. We can't actually call it or make it move. We're just gonna let it do whatever it wants to do.
That's why that other bus stopped in the middle of the road.
So that was a good spot. Whoever saw the caribou up there.
Cochise.
Good eyes on this bus.
They claim somebody else.
Bruce Joe.
You can kind of see his huge antlers. Yeah.
Look, he's turning this way.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
Let's duke it out too.
And I don't know if you know about antlers, but antlers are like the leaves out here where they fall off and regrow every year. So this huge rack that he has just started growing about the middle of April.
You should charge $1 move.
You're not making a movie, this is not what the
Yeah,
movie.
see, it's actually
Whatever it is. She said it was a terrible.
Okay, you get him? You seen him?
Yeah.
Quite a view up at the top of this valley.
Abraham has Cap on this one.
Have y'all made any still shots?
No.
Can we pour it water?
Huh?
Can we pour it the water?
I would like some of it.
Why not?
I'm sure you can. I'm sure it's not going to hurt anything.
She didn't care about us pouring it.
Well, I wouldn't think.
Almost raining.
Pounds or so if you put both of them together. They're very hollow. They're all porous. They have all like kind of holes through them. But compared to their body size, caribou grow the biggest antlers compared to their small body. But moose grow the biggest antlers. If you just weigh the antlers themselves, they can weigh almost 80 pounds. Moose antlers can.
I don't think they.
Yeah.
But I can't see him at all.
Wait, put his head down. I can't see him. I can see just the top of it.
I can't back up. Oh, you can barely see him now. Salad food. I know we have some up here. That's what they could be. And the caribou in the river is probably at about, I don't know, 1 o'clock, 3 people in the back. Just standing up, perfectly silhouetted.
No, he's been there all along, actually.
Why you said you're so tired?
We'll get a look at this guy since we can see his whole body, not hidden by anything. And then we can get moving on to what else we can find.
Okay, it's about 11:15. Real close up about. It's about 11:15. We're getting ready to go to the bus to take us to the train station. It's a beautiful view here in front of the hotel. Back up on the hill, some cabins. This is Denali Lodge, Princess Lodge. And there's the cabins, the lodge. And they have beautiful flowers. I'm going to try to, and hanging baskets.
Get this behind
What, the flowers? Yeah, it's beautiful flowers. This is quite nice. King size bed, which is nice to sleep on instead of the postage stamps. So I think we're going to be sleeping on it. Now, I forget the name of the range of those mountains there, but they're about 3,000 feet high. Feels like November, yeah, it's real cool. And I don't know if the film will show up how murky the water is from the glacier, how it grinds up the stone. It's just real dirty looking. And then as you go to the, over on that side of the valley, that range of mountain there is the Alaskan Mountains. And I think yesterday I said I thought I saw Mount McKinley over there, and come find out that's not Mount McKinley because it's too far, 75 miles away. But upstream right here is a bridge, and then all that over there on the other side of the river is Denali Park. And that is a visitor's lodge. If you ever come here, you need to make sure and go to that. Everybody said it was something, we didn't get to see it because we got slept too late this morning. But upstream here, we saw some rafters right around this bend right here is where the rafters unload. They put in way upstream.
And no fishermen.
No fishermen. The fish don't like this. They don't like this river. They say salmon will come up it, but they don't like it because it's too murky. But anyway, we're going to head for the bus now. Get ready to go on our train ride about 7 hours. So. This is Denali, Alaska. See you later.
$400 a night, and we have single bed. $100 a night. So if you look at mom and say, well, I think that's a month, we get out of a single bed. leader down that hill.
Marlon just gives us, so we were one of them.
One was idyllic neighborhood. I said, I would love to go
Explain it to her, bud, how it works. Okay. Yeah.
And so, what happened to that house? They go with the wives of the year? No, did you take it out and say you would?
Oh, I agree. I think
That should be all right in the summer.
Oh, I picked that.
She'd be all right in the summer. Where bar patches when it's about 50 below.
Hey, I used to do that when I went to visit my grandfather.
Are you back?
I didn't. I'm right there.
All
right.
Hey,
I'm not taking a shot of this. I don't know what I'm going to do for the next 3 hours. I could get crazy.
You want me to hold on to you?
Yeah, hold on to me.
It's inhaler time.
I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
I'll be okay. That's all right. Never have me and I don't
I bet they don't have outhouses.
Now it's warmer up there, right? Because the hot air comes up.
That's what I've heard.
There's some hot air over there.
Here, that's what they said in Fairbanks. It's warmer, 20 degrees warmer up on top of
How many degrees is that warmer?
20.
Well, you mean that brings it down to -50?
Well, it says the difference between -50 and -30 is a lunch.
This ride's a whole lot prettier because we're up in the mountains now. Over here is the snow on the mountains. This ride's going to be a lot prettier.
And there's 2 caribou right in there.
Federal Aviation Administration storage houses, and they've been sold to private contractor now, so they're used to store deer or hunting deer or winter deer for people, and they're rented out.
313 mile mark.
That's what I was looking for.
Okay. Something, whatever it is you want to rent for. I think they might.
Yeah? That's okay. Train.
Well, I don't know.
You're not going to be able to see them.
They have some observation cars, so we're going to wave nicely. Just wave, let's wave. Okay, and we're going to wave at the McKinley Explorer. That's the white wagon car. We're going to wave at the McKinley Explorer. We've got 5 cars on here. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they can. 5. Now, here's the Princess car.
Hey, Bruce, I missed the wave. Would you do it again? I missed the wave. Would you do it again?
Bruce, give another one. Brucey, do it again.
Good job. So I think that he likes to do that. Don't you think so?
The fool's
Everyone is looking at the goats except Bob Bristol. Bob Bristol's busy. He's making a phone call.
It's getting golden looking. Look, y'all.
I might come into your video party.
This is not going to be pretty.
Oh, here we are.
Not when they tell you it's a 1920 wooden trestle.
Oh. Hey, it is pretty.
Well, when you look straight down, you don't see any bottom.
Everybody move!
Absolutely not.
Pop rocket.
Okay. You get out there.
Mine flashed anyway, and I had
1920, this is Hurricane Gulch. This bridge was built in 1920. 368 feet high.
Get you a picture of this wooden trestle.
It is pretty.
The last one.
You got to run back.
Can you won't get over here?
No, the trestle's there.
You have to get to the rear of the...
This one's out of film.
Is it out? No, I was shooting down there. Mary Coleman was bending over, but she wasn't coming to the video. I was getting a video of her rear end.
Oh. Oh, now you.
Yeah, you can see it now. Wait a minute. Hey, you can get a shot back here now.
You missed the hurricane go?
we were on those trains.
Well, we have just arrived in Anchorage about 8 o'clock at night. You can see how the sun's still up. Staying at the Capt and Cook Hotel. Mary Coleman and Janice.
What's on there? I've got the campaign wave going.
San Francisco.
Do you think he's registered?
Yeah.
At least we didn't do the moose wave.
He saw this San Francisco shirt and he thought I was gay.
I don't think he was hitting on you.
He might have been. But anyway, Mary Coleman and Nancy and Martha and James and Janice. We have walked down here to, what was it, Elderberry Park? What was the name of that park?
Yes, that's right.
Elderberry?
Elderberry. No one in town in Hendersonville will know if Elderberry's right.
Well, looks like it's low tide at Elderberry Park. Down at the foot of 5th Avenue in Anchorage, Alaska. I believe there's a place. I believe there's a place down here.
They were with us a minute ago.
Are y'all from Atlanta? Y'all sound like y'all from Atlanta, Georgia. Huh? How you gonna describe them? How many people what? That we talked to. Yeah. They were friendly. Aren't they?
Yeah. Most people are, though.
One of these days.
What?
Who knows?
I'm not sure.
I'm going to get everything I find.
Did you say Jesus?
I want to do. When I am a ghost, I'll do everything I want.
That's pretty decent looking, like apartment complex up there.
Noticing those. They really stand out.
And look at this house down here, all around it.
Barry, when was the last time that you were in Atlanta?
No, I guess it's
thinking 3, but I guess it's been 4 or 5 years ago. Really? Well, goodness sakes, it was high time you returned. Oh, I guess so.
Well, have you seen any changes thus far?
No, I really haven't.
So
Go to Fairbanks
the
before
area,
that.
I did.
Fairbanks field with traffic.
Yeah.
Look at their pretty flowers.
Here comes the train.
Oh.
Look at the purple. What that is. Hey, Martha, what's that purple? What's that? Can you see the purple? Like on a star?
It looks like foxglove. I can't. Foxglove does not do well.
Hey, here's some more from the south.
The Demon Rum.
Look at their flowers all around this place.
Yeah.
Did you see that sign up there?
Hysterical Anchorage.
What did it say? Did you find anything else you knew the sign?
About the flowers?
Yeah.
It's a bed and breakfast or something.
No,
Ghosts still live
Do you know what body of water this is? It's ocean. It is. Mm-hmm. That's if you looked at the map, it's. I ain't looked at the map. Well, it's part of Prince Philip Sound, and all that kind of stuff. It goes way up in here, but evidently them big ships can't get up in here. It's too much tide to get that barge. Not deep enough, I guess. Because Seward is way down that way.
Don't we have a pretty good sized naval base right here too?
I don't know. I don't know. You would think so. That sunset, but it won't sunset. Sun won't set here at 11 o'clock. About 9 right now. Come some skaters. Anchorage skaters. Let me get this lady's picture right here. Looks like a champion Anchorage, Alaska skater to me. Hey. Here comes another one. A champion Anchorage skater. I'll take you back to Tennessee and show everybody you, boy. You're doing good. Better than me. I could do that.
Anchorage water is, if it's salt water or...
Dangerous waters and mud flats.
So many people on the cruise ship.
Yeah.
You might not be able to see the same person twice.
That's you're exactly right.
I bet we find y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet we do.
Thank you again.
You're
Oh,
going to
no
be playing
problem.
racquetball or something.
Give me a good 360-degree view here. Flower's really pretty. This is just a little apartment or something. Little house. It's just beautiful. There's the bay. And that's a steep hill. We're just a little tired. We just walked 13 miles on the trail down by the water.
Janice is the only one still up.
She's the only one still standing. 13 miles is a little bit strong for me and Mary Coleman. That's a long way to go. And Nancy. But the flowers are pretty, and we just take a picture. We're really not tired.
That was pretty right there.
It was. Look at this.
Look at that one.
I know.
How big.
But look over there, his little garden. And look up at his window. I love the little window basket.
I do too.
Fresh.
It was lost.
Two fresh hikers right here. It's just 13 miles down there, y'all.
They had the wrong name on it.
We were walking through the lobby and we saw our luggage sitting there. We asked the concierge, is there a problem with this luggage? And they said, yeah, we have no idea who it belongs to.
Tag come off?
No, the tag's not on it. He said, who are you talking about? Here's our name right here. But when we got our packet today, on the outside of the Princess packet, it said Collier, but on the hotel thing inside, it said Gollier, Gollie.
Oh, really?
So I said, look.
Y'all probably don't have a place on the boat.
Well, no, the Princess thing. But I said, check your manifest and see if you have a Gollier staying here for 7:35. And they said, oh yeah, we do. And I said, that's us. It's Collier. So they just took.
It's 5th Street, whole lot different city in Anchorage than Fairbanks, and that's our hotel right there. That's Capt. Nice modern hotel. It's 3 different towers. Good place to stay. Little shopping area right across from our hotel. It's pretty neat.